Hey, welcome to the X1 Legion cast. Why am I excited? Why am I celebrating? Why am I an air horn? That's because we hit over 300 subs, guys. Woo! It's really going to suck on audio only when you guys just like mime cheering in your cameras, but don't actually laugh or say anything.
They've already turned it off because you hit them with an air horn like twice your normal volume.
Yeah,
so.
earphone warning right here.
Our European listeners will appreciate the soccer stadium atmosphere I'm trying to provide here. I'm sorry, football.
Champions League Tuesday. We got you round of 16. You were locked in all day, Randy.
Yeah, and they're gone.
Let's go. Welcome, guys. It's me, Randy. This is the X1 Legion cast. Matt Mishamar here, and we're joined by Mr. Reagan Dugan. How's it going?
Good to be here. Always enjoy being on the X1 podcast. Great podcast.
I like to think so. Before the world beats me down into submission. Anyways, we've got a great episode for you. We are going to talk with Reagan about some Invader League info. We might have a few teases that people haven't seen yet. We have a giveaway winner to pull, and we've got another announcement to go along with that, so stay tuned for that. That might be pretty cool. Something you might want to talk to us about.
Ooh.
A little tease there. We'll hit up the command card tower power. You know, we got to keep laying them bricks. Gotta keep building towards the sky. And of course, hobby harassment. But we're not going to start with hobby harassment today. There was a trade show recently, GAMA. If you have been on the internet and troll the places that Legion is talked about, you probably have seen all those announcements a lot. So we won't go over every single one of them. But basically, AMG did show off what the new starter boxes were going to look like, kind of. I think there wasn't final art for everything. And they also made some other announcements about organized play, as well as timelines for card packs that are coming, things like that. So I would just want to go around the horn and see what your guys' most anticipated announcement was. Mine wasn't the Shadow Collective stuff, just FYI. But go ahead.
I can go first. Pending. I don't know if I'll say the word the Gungans are in the cards this year, but if not, I think I might be looking at an Empire box. So there's going to be a new army. I'm excited about that. The art looks great. I think I like the setup of the idea of a kind of contained 600-point army, which because the old core sets didn't really line up, and then by the time people buy them now, the points have all changed, the rules have all changed, so it's way out of date. So I think it's great to have a nice, great product. Someone says, "Hey, I'm starting Legion," you just can point them like, "Hey, these are your product. Buy this, and you're in the game." So love that. Super glad they announced that.
How about you, Reagan?
I would say a certain unit coming out, but I don't want to take that joy from Mitch. I know he's a big fan of. No, I think the big one for me was like single faction starters are great. I think we all like Battle Force boxes, and like Matt said, not having to explain like you should buy 2 and then sell half of that, and then then you'll have like kind of an army that's okay, but it's really not very good. Having something that it sounds like is going to be more self-contained. Not like top tier, but you can put on the table and have fun with. And then anytime I see the Tauntauns, I am very excited for Han and Luke and Tauntauns. Just yes.
So let me ask you real quick, Reagan. Is that going to be a unique hero unit, or do you think it is going to be a Delta Squad situation where it is like just a upgraded Tauntaun?
It's gotta be like with the dot Han, some sort of fun subtitle on a Tauntaun, right? Like I mean, no offense to Delta Squad stands, but like I can't name all 4 Delta Squads, but I can name Han Solo and Luke Skywalker. I'm kind of
Is it
but can
Han?
You name their Tauntauns?
Is it Han and Luke on Tauntauns as a unit, or is it Han Tauntaun Luke Tauntaun?
If I had to make a bet, I'm leaning it's going to be individual units. At least the way they talked about it from when I remember the first reveal was like, that was the vibe. I think it's a cool chance maybe to get like a command card refresh or something would be neat. Maybe
Ooh,
maybe
yeah.
like 1 or 2 overlap in there. That would be cool. But just the option, I'm very excited about all these like heroes on things. New game space. Very excited for that.
Yeah. I think that'd be easier to balance too if they were two separate things and not.
I mean, I think it would be a lot easier because you just take the base unit card, you just take Han, and you add a few more things, and you maybe up his melee because he's on a Ton. But I think other than that,
man.
you
Han with
you
Ram
keep them
and
all the
Relentless.
same.
Han on a
Oh,
Ton.
jeez.
No, you keep Han's cards. You don't take the Ton card. I don't think you add Relentless. Maybe you add
He already
Steady.
has
but
Steady. Yeah. I mean, it's a
Oh,
Tauntaun.
shit.
Let him get the Ram off after he's popping shots.
Oh
Jeez.
man, he's gonna speed 3 shoot and then speed 3 ram into something.
Like let him
gonna
attack
be
twice. The
wild.
rules are silly. I don't even care. Let it happen.
Okay, here's my hot take. This is not a real take, but how dumb would this be? Luke on a Tauntaun. You kill him. They play a card. I thought it smelled bad on the outside. Next turn, regular Luke pops out.
There's like an exploded Ton mini that you put on the table.
Yes, like a marker, like a
And
smell bad marker.
He respawns there.
That
Yeah,
is,
pop out like a wound.
do we think they're going to let him dismount? Like that seems kind of antithetical to a lot of what we've been doing.
Probably
no.
not.
If you could dismount, why would you get rid of the transport rules?
It's kind of what
Yeah.
I think too.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have maybe, they might have, like, Han's got 6 wounds, right?
Mhm.
So they might have, like, 7 or 8 wounds. And then I think other than that, then they might have speed 3. Other than that, I think it's going to be their exact same command card. I don't know what they're going to do, or a unit card. I don't know what they're going to do with Luke and the lightsaber. I think that might be kind of weird.
Oh, man.
Because, like, a
Lightsaber with Ram and that Tauntaun
Holy
pull.
crap.
I mean, they already nerfed the saber a little bit. Like
Yeah.
they brought it down to 5.
And Commander Luke has a pistol, so it's not like it's.
It's a better pistol too. 260
I guess it would
looks
be
pretty
Commander
fun.
Luke? Would it be Commander Luke?
Yeah. Upwards
Yeah.
posts good Yoda time that he hasn't had yet.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
He still has both of his hands when he's on the Ton. Yeah. All right. What about you, Mitchum?
Well, I'll say the obvious answer. I am actually kind of excited for the announcement of the OP and the GT event packs that they're releasing. I think the OP kits are really cool, and like the store kits you can buy for like local store tournaments and everything. And then all the information they gave us about that. I really am excited for that, just to have more things to give away. As a tournament organizer, it's always nice to give away everything to all your players and stuff like that. And then, but that's not important. Who cares about that? I'm getting Ahsoka in, I think, June? Was it June or May?
Dude, I just closed
it.
You guys.
I got the timeline.
Ahsoka's May 25 is their official.
Yeah, okay, so
screen.
May. Okay, cool.
You can pre-order this month.
I will. I have until May of 25 to figure out my Rebel list, and then I'm selling it all. So whoever wants Rebels, let me know. I got an entire, probably a couple thousand points of Rebels. You can see it right there on my shelf right here. All this could be yours right here. All of it right there.
He's not selling it.
He's not selling it. I don't believe him.
I did buy a bunch more clone stuff, or I got it from a buddy of mine, so I'm ready. My body is ready. I just need to see a unit card. I've seen the model. I could care less. I just got to see a unit card. I got to see how OP she's going to be.
Are you going Commander or Operative first?
Probably Operative. I want to run Season 7 over, because I have a feeling, or I'm sorry, Commander.
Yeah.
Commander would be Season 7. I'm sorry. Operative is probably going to be either Teamwork Luke or some sort of
Anakin.
Anakin.
Dude, I'm in Teamwork Luke. Let's go.
Maybe Rebel. That one time they saw each other in Mandalorian or whatever. So it's probably gonna be Teamwork Anakin, and I just don't want to play Anakin. So I want to play her by herself and see how viable she is.
What do you think they're gonna do to make Ahsoka feel like not the other 3 Gar Jedi?
I'm very curious to see what they do with her mastery because she is not defensive as she is in Rebels. So I think they either give her a new mastery, which is gonna I don't know what. Honestly, if they keep her same mastery, but her dodges like marksman for dodges, I'd be fine with that too. I could also see them just giving her Anakin's mastery
Yeah.
because I hope they kind of do something with like the dual lightsaber effect. So maybe she, I don't know, maybe once per turn she can attack twice and get a bigger dice pool on like a command card or something. I would like to see her be a different type of aggressive than Anakin. Because you have Obi-Wan who's defensive, you got Yoda, which is like he can do it all, and then Anakin is just go. I would like to see her maybe kind of like maybe have direct. I think would be too powerful, but I'd love to see her have direct and kind of be more like about the clones around her and like buffing them up. Like if she could share clones, like share tokens with clones, like that'd be her mastery. That'd be awesome. Like if she could somehow get tokens on her and then give herself exemplar or something, but like as a Jedi mastery, I don't know.
I don't know. They just stripped Exemplar
I'm a
out of
little
everybody
scarred of
there.
Exemplar Jedi after I ran Anakin
I know.
Saber like for the first 2 years of my
we just got over all that.
Yeah.
So, but I think that would be very thematic for like the way she was because she was a lot more in tune with the clones than I think Anakin and Obi-Wan were, as far as like knowing all their names and everything. And of course, her and Rex have a special bond and everything. So I'd like to see Commander Ahsoka have something with Rex, hopefully, at least on a command card. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very curious to see. So I doubt she has Master of the Force because she's still a Padawan. I'm really curious to see if they add anything new or if they just kind of slap on a bunch of old stuff on her. So, but yeah,
I think it'd be cool if they made her like hyper mobile.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Speed 3 for those.
Because he's like Anakin's your big attack guy, Obi-Wan's your defensive guy. You said Yoda's kind of like everything, so it'd be interesting if she would like either movement or maybe I don't know, maybe some support mechanic or something. But
they talked about Jin has the independent moves that got mentioned somewhere. I thought I heard.
Oh
Bear
yeah.
Squad.
Having
the inverse, but like because like defend one, whatever of like you have in order to perform a move. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Advance.
Yeah.
I like that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Because she does have defend one in Rebels. But I don't think they're going to give her the same keywords that they gave her in Rebels.
Yeah,
and I have a feeling her lightsaber is not going to be as good. At least the operative version won't be as good. But I think her
lightsaber good in Rebels though.
Well, it's better than
one
Obi-Wan's.
turn it is.
Yeah. It's better than Obi-Wan's. Her commander one will probably be the best version of her lightsaber, I think. So, because she's still trained by Anakin, like she's not a slouch. She did defeat Maul. I mean, and Grievous. I mean, she's gone toe to toe with the best of them. So, I just don't know how much of a focus they're going to put on her force power because, like, she's more combative than force sensitive, I think. So, I don't know. We'll see. I like the mobility idea. I think that's good. I think that's good. That's something Clones doesn't really have. So,
I'd like to maybe see if I could do like Ahsoka operative Rex and 501st and see if that's anything. But yeah, could be fun.
You should do it, Matt. You should do it.
Yeah, I guess she would be in 501st. I hope not.
I'm assuming there's an operative slot in 501st that has.
There are other ways to play clones, Matt. I just want you to know. You don't have to play 501st. You know that, right?
Yeah, he plays Wookiees. He knows. And he's looking very much forward to Gungans.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. I guess there was a couple pictures of like built models and there was a few rebel troopers that have not been seen on a box yet. Like one dude had like a minigun.
The
like,
Z6, the new Z6.
Is that a new
Or-
C6 though?
I think so.
I
Do
I
we
don't
think
know.
it's a Rebel Trooper or something new?
Ooh.
Hard to tell. There was also a comms tech looking guy off on the corner as well. So I'm curious about what those guys are. Just because I love all these new resculpts. I think it's cool, but it is stuff we've had. So
Yeah. I love the Twi'lek heads. I think they look great. I've said it before. But
Mitchum likes tentacles, confirmed.
Also, tiny aside, I think it was the 5th Trooper interview.
no comment.
Will was talking about, hey, if you get one box, you don't have to do the super squad. You can do 2 normal squads within the box if you differentiate somehow. And then that's, something they're cool with. So
Grab those Rebel Specialist packs if you can find them, and there's your unit leaders.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the room for hobbying too. I think we should encourage hobby your unit leader. That's cool. But you should hobby your unit leader. Please don't make me figure out which B1 is your unit leader that's not hobby. But I that's a cool place to emphasize, hey, make them interesting, especially as they're giving us more kind of multi-fit joints and stuff.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And speaking of hobbying, have you been hobbying? I know I have. I'll start off, I guess. That would be the only right thing to do. Let's see. More Black Suns in progress.
Oh, there you
Yay.
go.
I got a Magda and some extra guys. When this unit's done, I'll only have one more to do, and I'm very excited about that. I printed a thingy for Mitchum's Felucia table.
Love that. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Oh, I got...
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, I did a wrecker.
Reagan.
Alt sculpt.
Ooh.
I have the box guys, but I'm saving them for when I have a psychotic episode and play clones. And so I wanted some season 2 Bad Batch sculpts for the Rebel version that I might play. And speaking of Rebels, one of these sleeper cell guys made its way into my home and got painted up. So I don't know. Maybe I'll play Rebels sometime. Shh, don't tell anyone.
Sounds like we're all going to be playing new factions this year.
I'll be playing a faction. Right? Right, Mitchum?
Oh.
Anyways,
check out the latest
Mitchum,
Going X and O for that reference.
Anyways, Mitchum, as prescribed by the U.S. Army, I have to ask you about the state of your table.
Yes. Okay. Big news on the table. I recently discovered ZZM Armory. If you haven't, definitely go check out his Patreon. He does monthly updates where he picks a genre and then does a bunch of terrain for it, like one of those things that Randy just showed. And last month was all Felucia terrain. And so I got a whole pack of stuff that Randy's going to print for me for my table. It's going to look fantastic. And then all of this month, he's going to be doing more designs for Felucia. And then he'll release another terrain pack at the end of this month. So I'll be getting that. But he has all kinds of stuff. At the end of last year, he did all of this Geonosian terrain for Bug Empire. So definitely go check him out on Patreon. Get subscribed. It's really cheap and you get awesome terrain for it. If you're not interested in Patreon, just go to myminifactory.com. I think that's where he posts all of his stuff. And make sure to check it out. It's great stuff from what Randy said. It printed great. I'm super excited for it. But besides that, I bought a bunch of fish terrain from Petco to kind of get me started. And then I started just trying to I really want to make a focus on area terrain and different types of difficult and really kind of playing with that. So I'm trying to do something different here. So this is all some of my fish terrain I've grown. I'm going to paint the white stuff green and then put grass on top of it so it'll look better. I started to kind of do that with this one. I did brown. I don't like it. I'm just going to put more green stuff on it. It'll look better. But I don't know. This could be heavy. This could be light. It could be area. It could be difficult. I just like I think I'm gonna have a lot of options for players.
It's for the players.
So
You know what I think it is, Mitchum? I think it's
then have
that
a
the
little
grass
hill.
is. I think it's the grass is only green and it's Felucia. So like the grass needs to be like kind of
Fluorescent or
bluish
something.
and purple in spots.
Oh man, yeah, maybe that is
Like
it.
the grass looks too earthly.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that is it. So maybe I need to get a different kind of base that's more. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Now that I think about that.
But that's
So, yeah.
progress, man.
Yeah, I have this, and then I have a whole like tub full of stuff I bought from just kind of like basic like rocks and stuff. So I got ATTEs coming along pretty well. I think just trying to nail down which ones I want and how many. And then other than that, I don't really know how I'm going to get height 2 terrain on this table. So I don't know if I'm going to worry about that. I think I'm just going to try to focus on area terrain and just having enough line of sight blockers and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully the goal was to have it done by.
Sounds like the Big D Showdown, May 31st. We're excited to see it.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to say that.
There it is.
I was afraid you were going to say that. There it is. Yep. I guess that's it. So.
Yeah, we're gonna sick the U.S. Army on you if it's not ready to. I'm not sure if they're gonna make it out for this year. They're at last year, so
okay.
better hope they're not this year. If the table doesn't
better
show
to
up.
hope they're not. If my table's not done, I don't think I want to. I don't want them to be there. So other than that, I've been painting POIs and exhaust tokens that don't count towards my goal. So I have not worked on my goal at all besides trying to get this table done. So yeah, I still have Sleeper Cells to paint and Bad Batch, and they're on the list on the queue, but it's kind of where I'm at. So big table update though. So
for sure. How's it going for you, Reagan?
I haven't touched a paintbrush since LVO. I painted up a bunch of stuff for my Rebels at LVO, and
sick.
I haven't done it since. I bought a new EXD list, which is kind of like hobbying because it was already painted. So it feels like I hobbied a whole army that was really nice and pretty. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, the gold price. For sure.
Heck yeah.
I did something, guys. Not to freak you out. Not much. No, we're too excited. I did assemble and prime the last of my Wookiees. My final.
Ooh.
So I can do oops all
Nice.
Wookiees. So a little there you go. So,
Okay.
and I'm doing
progress.
here's a double. I did a little off the script battle shield, little extra guy. So I'm going to come up with.
It looks clean. It's a good mod there.
Yeah. So
speaking of Wookiees, did you see the Wookiee pictures from GAMA? Do those models look any different to you, or those were all the same poses?
I think they are the same. Yes.
Okay.
So
how's that Fluttercraft coming?
He still knows where all the pieces are.
Yeah, it flew.
Right.
It flew up to my shelf, and it is there. I've just got to get, as you can see, boxes in the background. I've got to get completely moved in here, and then maybe we can talk, getting some hobby going. But it's gonna be cram session once it gets going, so it'll be good.
Nice.
But hoping
All
for
right.
lots of
together
Adepticon
in the second half of the year, Matt.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna be like Mitch. I'm not gonna be done in June for sure. So
I definitely would not be done in June this year.
Well, good deal. Let us move on to building the command card Tower of Power. I need a good sound effect that strikes fear and terror like the Legion Key Quiz one did.
I was thinking like Bob the Builder kind of vibe here, like as we're building the tower.
Oh
yes,
man,
we can.
I need a break from the kids shows. Okay, let me pull this up. We're gonna do Bad Batch today because we've got a lot of things to talk about. So we thought one command card would be good. But first, Reagan, is there anything on this incredible bulletproof list that you would like to change?
I was gonna give you guys a hard time about Fear, Surprise, Intimidation. We chatted about pre-show. It's the only character one tap good card. I think Mechanized Incursion. I've been playing a lot of experimental droids, significantly better than I had realized, and still I started playing more droids with it. especially because you're only playing it with droids because you have to play with droids. And if you're bringing it, you probably have a commander droid, one of the super tacs, or what is the generic tactical droid or whatever. The big draw for me has been, I didn't realize I started playing it, when the vehicle's issued an order, it's not just from the card. So when my super tac snail orders or whatever, you get a lot of orders out, and having a 1-pip with perfect order control is pretty good.
Okay, so
is it better than Roger Roger?
I think it's better. Here you go. I didn't even finish with that. So I think it's probably better than Roger Roger, probably better than Covering Fire. I won't push Attack of the Clones because I know that's been a contentious debate.
I was going there. I was like, is it better than Attack of the Clones?
I don't play Roger Roger all that often with EXD, surprisingly. You end up with generally enough tokens with aggressive tactics, but I play Mechanized Incursion pretty much every game because you basically can go first with whatever you want to go first with Mechanized Incursion. If you're bringing a CIS list that should bring it.
Okay, so is that...
So it's definitely going above Roger Roger.
I think I put it below double the fall just because I don't want to argue with Dooku. Because
I think I'm okay with that. Just, I don't know. The dodges are still good, but you can get dodges a lot easier in Rebels now.
And unless you're bringing Ahsoka, who actually can do something with the dodges, most of your Rebels already are able to get you have commanders or Leia or the units activating, and if it's not activating, it's helpful, but also why is your Rebel getting smoked in the open before it activates in a way that a single dodge would matter?
Honestly, the biggest problem with Covering Fire is the fact that it's only core.
Yeah.
And at least the Rebel list that I've been running with very heavy heroes, I need orders on my heroes to do things. I don't really care when my core goes because they have to be there because they have to be. They're just in list because they have to be. So that's my biggest problem with Covering Fire. I have not played Covering Fire in a long time, honestly. So
I haven't put it in a list I've been playing a lot of Alpha Bad Batch, so I don't know why I would put it in a list. But I've been doing the same. Desire.
Yeah, I've been doing the same. Mine's been Ahsoka Bad Batch, so it's I got no room for it because I already got 2 great 3-pip options.
Right, because you're going to bring some combination of Han, Luke, Bad Batch, and your 3-pips are good.
Yeah.
Leia's 3-pip is... I'd probably bring it over this, but... Maybe that's what we should have done. Maybe I should have ranted about Leia 1-pips, but...
Okay. Yeah, I'm okay with Mechanized Incursion going at number 9.
Do you have any thoughts on Attack of the Clones?
Man, talk about just...
Yeah, how far down should Attack of the Clones go?
Okay.
How far down should Covering Fire go, though? Actually.
Yeah.
Honestly, it probably should go down further.
It's got to be worse than Push, right?
Is it even better than Turning the Tide? Because if you bring Turning the Tide, it means you're going to use Turning the Tide.
Okay, here's a valid discussion.
I see what
Discretion is here at 14. Those cards are doing very similar things.
I think there's more value in
but at least Covering Fire is
though.
giving out orders.
Oh, I was going to say the inverse. If you're bringing Discretion, you're building a list that already doesn't particularly care about orders, and you're getting dodges in different places. You can put dodges on things start of round, which is significantly more valuable than waiting for activations and core have to shoot and be in range.
And on anything.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. And I think Pin Down's still really good. I'd probably put it 16.
Below Pin Down?
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
All right, Attack of the Clones going down.
All right, we all know Attack of the Clones is
going down to 15.
Honestly, looking at it, the Rebel command cards are just not very good.
Yeah.
The generic ones are really not.
Yeah, they suffered a lot in 2.6.
And what their heroes are just so good. So
Sabotage Communication gets me every time. I don't know why. I always fall for it because I'm like, well, they're not going to play that, and then they do.
It's just the opportunity cost of the 1-pip is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is.
It has not been an issue for me since Shadow Collective came out. Like pretty much any like command card that messes with orders, it's like, what orders?
I don't know where. How far down do we push Attack of the Clones? Do we move it down again?
I think Attack of the Clones is probably fine. Like maybe that's a hot
It's
take.
better than Roger. I think it's still better than push because it's still giving out surges or suppression. I could make it. I think there's an argument where it's not better than mechanized incursion. So maybe
I think
above push.
The hard part with all of these, and you guys talked about it, is like depending on like when I look at it, if you're bringing Attack of the Clones, it's a list that's going to get a ton of value out of Attack of the Clones, and like have a reason to have it in your list.
Yeah.
Like same thing with like Turning the Tide. Like if you're bringing a list that's not going to get value out of Turning the Tide just because you have 2 ATRTs, like okay, that's a stupid use of the card. But if you're bringing double bus, hey, there's like real value in this of my like turn 1. I know I order my buses kind of thing.
Sure.
Yeah, no, that's what on all clone lists. I think Attack of the Clones is obviously a good choice. Like Dan said in his interview, he brought it. He didn't play it. I'm assuming it's because Anakin was alive. That's probably not a card you want to play when Anakin's alive because he wasn't running C's because there's not room for C's. Because when Anakin's alive, you want Anakin to have an order. Yeah. But if Anakin somehow gets taken out, then it's a great card because all you have left is clones. So it's a great card. So. Leave it there. Right. We'll leave it there now for now, Jim.
We will talk about an attack of different clones, and that is from Bad Batch here. Heyo. Let me pull up the card here. But basically, Bad Batch is 3-pip. We do what we do. Basically lets them go ham for the turn, or on their activation at least.
One question: are we talking about them as the same card, or are we giving a Rebel we do what we do and a Gar we do what we
do? That is a very good question.
I think we can take into account the benefits of both.
Yeah.
In the ranking.
So I think one card, but both unit cards need to be thought of. I know. Well, they're not that different, but you know what I mean.
But okay, it is a 3-pip. It lets you order Bad Batch. This round, while Bad Batch contains Hunter, they increase their speed by 1. While it contains Tech, they gain Tactical 1. While it contains Echo, they gain Reliable 1. While it contains Crosshair, they gain Precise 1. While it contains Omega, they gain Inspire 1. While it contains Wrecker, the weapon also gains Suppressive. A lot of those keywords they already have, so it's doubling or adding another rank of those keywords. So they get lots of tokens to spend. I think the obvious thing to point out here is that they are a decent amount deadlier in clones when they've got Crosshair. You get that Precise. He's bringing the Pierce. But yeah, thoughts.
This card is great. I've really only played it in Rebels. I usually, in my recent games, I've been playing it turn 1 just to get an order on them with Bad Batch, and then I'll use HQ Uplink to get orders on my sleeper cells. But just to have them go last, I'm usually 12 acts, so most of the time they're the last thing to activate, and there's always something that like my opponent is either deployed too far on the table or there's always a middle objective that I can push, and then I can just sit there and then be at range 1 for scoring next turn. But usually 9 times out of 10, I will put them on a flank by themselves. They'll move, shoot, and I will pick up anything that I touch. They're great at defensive for a round. They stick around for a long time. I think every game that I've had with them, they put it on their back, and they're still effective even without this card. But having the speed 3 turn 1 is really, I think, catches a lot of people off guard. And then you get 4 aims, 5 with the cash aim because of the tactical 2. The reliable is nice because if they go last in the turn, you can use all those surges to convert more of your hit dice. if your 5 aims isn't enough. Suppressive is kind of whatever because it doesn't really matter if they're the last thing to go. And then Inspire is like not important at all. But with the amount of white dice they throw, at least in Rebels, like having all the surges and everything is super nice to have. So I think it's a really good like tone setting card. I don't know. I don't really know where to put this in the list. I'm sure if we talk about the clone ones, it'll probably be better. So
I think sneaky big. 100% agree with all that. I brought Rebel Op Luke to LVO. The round 1 play, getting the speed 3 early, lets you get into position to contest things you normally can't. There's a lot of objectives that require you to like aggressively push points, and so the fact you can get to a spot where you want to get and push intercept transmissions, they're so good on sprinting towards that back point. And it gives them flexibility of like staying out of line of sight or whatever because of the extra move to do that. So huge fan of round 1 Rebel Bad Batch.
Interesting. So you guys don't think there's okay, so I guess the problem I see with the Rebel one round 1 Bad Batch play is just if the other guy isn't new and they know, right? So they deploy back. But is that still okay then? Because then you're zoning them out, right?
Yeah, you're getting 4 more inches because you played it round 1, because now you've added 2 inches per move of threat range. And honestly, at least with Rebels, when I play it, unless you're doing like kind of a solo hero thing, you don't really want to go into like round 3 and not have an order on Luke. And we do what we do is selfish. So
yeah,
I'd rather be able to like improvise orders and then pull my commander out and recover improvised orders again and put Luke out behind a line of sight blocker close to middle where I want him anyway, than be in round 3 and draw Luke first and be like, oh shoot.
Yeah, I think if you're playing a veteran player, then I think you just you deploy them in a way that you set them up for turn 2. And that is either you play ploy turn 2 to set them up and do a really nice alpha strike, or you just kind of set them on that side of the table and then let your opponent like respond, and then you can just pull them out of the bag. If they're in a good defensive spot, you don't need to play ploy, and you can kind of deal with everything else. But I think they draw so much attention on the table that even if you aren't killing something round 1, I think the fact that they're so far up in your opponent's face, like it forces your opponent to answer that, and then you can use the rest of your army to pivot to the other side and score and everything. So again, and plus, I think for turn 1, a lot of people are playing lower pip cards anyway. Like a lot of people are playing standing orders or 3 pips just to be able to activate last, to be able to have that chance to see their entire opponent's plan in action. So I think that's another benefit of it, that it is a 3 pip, so you do have a higher chance of either at least rolling for who goes first, or if they play a 2 pip or something, then you get to go first. Or if your opponent has cunning, then you could say, screw them, I'm going to go last on turn 1.
Is there a concern, since it's a 3 pip, that you're getting baited by the standing orders? Say you're out activated and they play standing orders. Is that like because you're not going to get to activate last? Is that an issue? Have you run into that at all?
It depends on the list, because like you build your list. At least when I bring Rebel Bad Batch, you bring round 1 of, do I have improvised orders or enough tokens in the bag to like hold stuff that I don't want to go early? And like I just don't want to. The issue is I want to get value out of the card, but I don't want to play it round 3 where I need to order other things. And Rebel Bad Batch aren't, without the Pierce, I don't think the value is there for using them as a mid-round alpha, like a mid-round big shot card. It's more of a, if I save it later, it's more that I can go hit a different POI than I initially presented to.
Yeah.
At least for Rebels, it's almost the speed 3 card, and the other stuff is cool. Like, I get one more search token for defense. If I have to like let Vader go last after I deploy or something, cool, come swing at me, I dare you.
And I run Ahsoka too, so I have 2 operatives. So like if I do have Bad Batch in my bag and I do have to go, then I would just if I pull an operative token, I don't burn my improvised orders that early. I just use Ahsoka and move her up into defensive position.
Right.
And then I use Ahsoka to strike either turns 3 or 4, when typically Bad Batch is my hammer turns 1 and 2. So I send Bad Batch, at my enemy, they deal with them, and then here comes Ahsoka 3-4. And then everything else in my list, like I got sleeper cells and ATRTs and stuff like that. So they're just there to kind of throw some smoke bombs and distract my opponent. So,
and they can be pretty order independent. Like they're not super order hungry later. Sometimes it is like super precise if you're like mano-a-mano on a point and you want to make sure you're really like taking advantage of Omega. But like 80% of your games, they can go whenever they're going to go. They're going to stay at range 1 of objectives. They're going to kill something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I agree with the round 1 play. I just wanted to poke the bear a little bit, see what you guys thought.
You can build a list to not do a round 1. It's just the best. Bad Batch lists probably have other stuff that, like Han Bad Batch, I could probably see like getting away with saving it for later. But like, you're just getting into points where you're like, I'd rather play other cards that order things and do cool stuff. I don't even know what I'd do. Maybe I'd play Change of Plans into We Do What We Do potentially with Han. Deep dive. Off topic.
Okay. Well, let's get into the ranking here then. I think at the bare minimum, it's better than Assault. So that's
kind of where I'm at right now.
It's definitely hitting the top 5, but I think it could go higher for sure.
I think it's the number 1 on here.
Whoa.
I mean, at least with Fierce Surprise Invitation's cool. I enjoy it. With Rebels, we already talked about, and with Gar, you take a unit that's already punches very hard and makes it punch even very harder and makes it fast. And those are things that Gar doesn't have a ton of abundance of things that are really fast.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. I mean, that's basically saying that Bad Batch is better than Dooku, and I just don't know if I'm ready to say a lightsaber is better than... I mean, the card does provide you with a lot of things. I don't know if it's better than Standing Orders, just in the fact that Standing Orders can beat it. But I do see where you're coming from.
Like, beat it in delaying?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I'm fine if you win with Standing Orders and order 1 unit, but you let me zone you 4 more inches away from objectives, that's fine.
That is true. Yeah, that is true. That's true.
I mean, I think I'm kind of with Reagan. It's either 1 or 2, just because of the strength of the unit right now.
Yeah,
it elevates the card even more. And then also we talk a lot about in 260 about how command cards need to be splashier because you only get 5 rounds to play them. We Do What We Do might be one of the splashiest cards in the game, and it's a 3-pip, so it's not taking away from your other units. Big cards typically.
I mean, it does have a novel of text on the card, so it is splashy.
Yeah, it's a magic card at this point.
Yeah.
And it is nice that it's kind of like a one-off, It's like you bring Bad Batch, they bring their card, they do the thing.
They do what they do.
and then you get to, play your other cards. So I would maybe I could go 1 or 2 for sure.
Okay, I'm fine with 1. I'm totally fine with 1. 100%. I
let it be known we are fans of recency bias.
Yeah, I'll say, LJ, if you want to come back on, make another argument for surprise invitation, we'll probably be convinced by you, and then we can just keep doing this.
Yeah.
I think the point you make too about like it is you can bring Bad Batch and use this card to great effect and not have to stack other cards on top of it to keep getting great effect. Actually, a really good point. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah.
Of like Dooku, you play FSI, but you also really want to take a lot of effect of like, you disappoint me, double the fall. You're like committed to this is a Dooku list in a way that you can kind of put Bad Batch, which we've seen in top tournament lists, is you can kind of put Bad Batch anywhere.
Yeah.
I know they're good enough, but I kind of wish the Omega keyword you got was agile and would kind of fit the Rebel theme of it.
That would be so gross.
That would be
I know.
really gross.
It would be gross, but
it would make it. They usually go last anyway, but it would make the Darth Vader swing into them when they like lose priority on purpose even funnier.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Okay.
Number 1, We Do What We Do. Number 2, FSI. 3, Ambush. Standing Orders. Ploy. Number 5. If you would like to see the rest of the list, I won't read it to you, but maybe we can do some kind of goal to have Mitchum do like a ASMR reading of it once it's all done.
I just want a nice 3-minute long mini podcast of some nice card reading for me.
Hey, I can BS with the rest of them. Don't you worry. We can spend 30 seconds talking about each card.
Can I get a YouTube short of it, maybe?
I will.
Well,
my fifth grade
it would be a
reading level.
series.
My fifth grade reading level would allow me to read
yeah.
it that fast, but
The Oklahoma Goodbye. Okay, great. Well, you've stuck with us this long, but we've arrived to the giveaway. Let's give away something to our listeners here, guys.
Woo!
If you are subscribed and you've commented on an episode since the beginning of this year, Mitchum has pulled your name, hopefully. There was 1 or 2 people in the past day or two, so I hope you grabbed them. But for those just listening, we have a very colorful wheel in front of us, and Mitchum's going to spin it. If you are selected as the winner, please email us at... Oh my gosh, I should know our email. X1cast?
No, X1crew at
X1
gmail.com.
X1crew at gmail.com. Please include a screenshot of your YouTube where it shows you're subscribed, but mainly your account name, so it's not someone else going, "Hey, it's me. I'm Jim Bob. Give me the because we don't want to give it to someone who didn't win." But yeah, $30 Amazon gift card. If you live in another country where Amazon's not a thing, talk to us and maybe we can do it to somewhere else. But I mean, I assume Amazon's a thing in most places. So yeah, it'll be cool. And you can sit on it if you want, because there's lots of cool boxes coming out apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, did you guys want to say thank you guys so much for listening and supporting us just by subscribing and sharing it when you can. Anytime I go look at our numbers, see that, oh hey, this got shared, I'm like, that's really nice. And then I wonder if it was just Mitchum doing it, but yeah, it always makes you feel good.
Yeah. Just thanks for keeping up. I love reading all your comments and everything. And another teaser. Hopefully we'll be able to communicate more and easier in the future.
Ooh.
I'm literally going to say it right after we do this, so you don't have to
really draw out
to yank the chain too hard.
I really. Okay. I'm going to push the button. Here
push
we
the
go.
button.
The anticipation is terrible. I hope it will last. Andrew Snowdon, 5271. Snowden?
I'm going to go Snowden.
Is this the guy that leaked all the stuff?
He has a brother that plays Legion. What?
That'd be a crazy sub, yeah.
Let's go.
Congratulations, Andrew Snowden, 5271. Please send us an email. We will probably go comment on whatever comment you left, just so you get a ping to know that you are the winner. And thanks for listening. Thank you, everybody, for listening. And so on top of the giveaway, we set up a Discord, guys. If you would like to join our Discord and chat with us, that would be pretty cool. We can hobby harass each other on a more regular basis. We're making fun of Mitchum in there all the time. So please join us. We will have a link in the description. Matt, Mitchum, you guys want to say anything about it or have anything to add?
I'm gonna have notifications on. So
do
it. He doesn't even have that for our pod
messages. Do what you need to do with that information. So
can we get a special color for Justin and the rest of the U.S. Army crew for whenever we get we can just know it's harassing Mitchum about.
There's a whole dedicated channel.
Yeah. Mitchum's going to have the hobby harassment channel on notifications.
It is definitely on. So there are already pictures of my work in progress. I have been relegated or tasked by the Army to post pictures at least once a week from my progress. So just the entire backing of the U.S. military is on my shoulders right now, trying to get this table done.
Are we worried Doge is coming after U.S. Army esports? I'm a little. That's the concern at this point. But
what did you hobby this week? Write down 5 things you hobbied.
So you spent how much on bullying a guy on the internet to build a table?
It's marketing.
Yeah. Anyway, come join us. I'd love to hear all your list ideas, and I'm kind of looking for my next Rebel list. I think I've kind of figured out the current one, so I would like to try something new with Ahsoka. So I'd love to hear your ideas. I know we've had comments in the past, and people wanted to chat with us more and talk about lists. So yeah, check that out in the description. Come join us. Come hang out. We don't have to talk about Legion. We can talk about life. Talk about dogs. I have a pug that I love to talk about, so we could talk about that. So
pets channel. We need a pets channel. That's actually let's do that.
Oh gosh, this was a terrible idea, wasn't it?
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
We also need a I Love Bamboo Labs channel.
Oh, and if you're a TO looking for like inspiration or have questions, I'm sure we'll have plenty of people that have either run events or judges in the past that know how to answer your TO questions. So that'll be another great resource for anybody hosting that is new to tournament organizing or judging events and stuff like that. So we have contact with Jerry to get you price support and any other questions. So yeah, that's just another resource in your Legion tool belt. All right, I'm done.
Great. Hey, let's talk about Invader League.
Yeah.
Reagan, if some listeners don't know what Invader League is, can you kind of give the spiel and tell us like when it's starting and stuff like that?
So Invader League, we're going into the 12th season of Invader League. So it's been going on for a while, pre-COVID even, which is, well, I remember when I was getting into Legion, it was 2020 and COVID, and like people that I'm good friends with now are like big wigs playing in the Invader League. It's like, oh, I see them on stream. It's crazy. So it's played exclusively on Tabletop Simulator. So it's only online. It's people all over the world. It's free to join. The structure of it is we play a round robin, so you'll be in a pod with 5 to 6 other people. We do our best to keep you in similar geographic areas or time zones to make scheduling easier. But you'll play 4 to 5 games of round robin, and then the top 2 from each pod will move on into single eliminations, culminating with one winner at the end. Generally have people from all over the globe playing. It's a chance with Tabletop Simulator to try out stuff that you might not own all the stuff. I've ended up buying a bunch of lists because I played them in Invader League. So it ends up being, it's free, and then I end up spending more money because I play Invader League and like the lists and have to buy the models that I played with. But it's a cool opportunity to get to see different maps. We put a lot of effort into making cool maps and then interacting with the broader community throughout that. There's a lot of cool pricing options as well. Everybody that wins your pod gets a prize. There's prizing for first through third. There's some giveaways. We're doing a virtual hobby competition this year. The guys that deploy the garrison came up with that. So maybe, Mitch, there's some more harassment opportunities for you there.
Oh, great. Woohoo.
But yeah, big picture, it's a big online Legion tournament. We do it usually annually. And it's a great opportunity to get in without all of the requisite setup of if I go play a game at my local on a Tuesday or Friday night, I got to get out there, I got to set up the table, I got to get my models out, I got to play the game. Invader League, you open up your Tabletop Simulator on your computer, you put your cards out, you drop your JSON in, and you're ready to play. So I've enjoyed that. It's been a big part of me getting more competitive with Legion before I got onto the organizing side of it. But it's just a good opportunity. And if you get your butt kicked, it took 2 hours sitting on your computer as opposed to going to a local store and getting smoked, which is not anyone's favorite thing. And the community is great. I've never really had any issues with community guys. A lot of the times it's a great opportunity post-game, especially as you're getting more familiar with the competitive scene of, hey, this is a chance for both of us to play at a high level against each other. What'd you think about the game? And a lot of conversations with players that aren't your normal group, people that you might not be used to playing. I know locally it ends up being a lot of us playing each other all the time. So it's a chance to play new players, see new metas, all sorts of things like that. The dates this year, we're in the middle of signups right now. If you go to luminousgaming.net/Invader League, I'm sure I'll spam that everywhere. That has all the info there for you. Signups are going until March 31st. Then our round robin will be April and May. And at the end of May, we'll be starting single eliminations. So that's kind of the day timeline there.
And if you're going to lose to somebody, you should lose to like good players where you can learn things. That's that's how we kind of cut our teeth trying to get into competitive Legion was Yavin-based Team League. And Randy won a bunch. I lost a bunch. And it was really good because it was a great, it's very obvious when you do something that's not optimal. And I think that's just a really good way to learn. And flow stakes.
Invader has a long history of a lot of guys stream. So you're not in round robin. You're not required to stream. We do our best to stream pretty much every single elim game. If you make it single elims, you can't opt out of streams. But if you get a chance to get streamed, there's no better way to go learn from your mistakes than go watch your stream and have some very kind commentator being like, "What are they doing? This makes no sense to me." And seeing like, "Yeah, I don't know. That was really dumb. That's a good point." It's a good opportunity there.
I participated in, I think, either Invader League 10 or 11 when I was first like getting into Legion. And so like whatever one was like during COVID, I think it was 10.
Oh man, COVID was like 6 and 7. We're going back into the polls
I don't know. But I know I did
days.
one, but it was like right when I was getting into Legion, and so it really helped me kind of figure out what kind of playstyle I liked, what units I liked. I still didn't have like a full arsenal of models that I do now on my shelves, as you can see back here. So I was able to play new things. I think I was running some like OB Pike list, like right when like Pikes came out, kind of. So I was like trying to be cool and like good at the game, but it didn't work. It didn't work out very well. I know for the Yavin-based team league is when I started playing Rebels, and that went very badly. But I learned a lot about Rebels. So like if you're very interested in the game, like don't be scared of the quality of players, because you can still learn a lot, even though like even if you think you're not good enough to be in Invader League, you definitely are. Like definitely sign up. It's a great way to get in like at least 5 games of a list that you probably don't own or have never run before. And you get to hang out and talk to people from all over the world about what did I do wrong? What did you think about my list? Like, what can I do to make it better? Like, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then hopefully when you come out of it, you'll have an idea of what you like to play and maybe get some actual models to kind of put on the tabletop. So,
yeah, it's been fun too. I meet people I've played in Invader Leagues before, and you're like, this is weird. Like, we've played each other in 2 Invader Leagues. I feel like I've spent a lot of time with you, and you're a human being. I can tell my wife you're real. This is great.
And it's neat to be able to connect with the bigger community too, and kind of you know weave that fabric as far as like the connections there between groups and stuff. So I think that's really cool.
Sure.
And we're lucky that, generally speaking, the guys that are really strong, the people that you would be intimidated playing are generally pretty good dudes in Legion, dudes and ladies. There's not. I haven't had any bad experiences in Beta. I know occasionally we'll have some bad apples, but everybody has a judge. So your pod will have a judge. We have a full judge staff, so you get the benefit of all of those things like judge calls and everything without having to commit to like a full event as well. If you're somebody that's a little nervous about, oh no, I know I'm not the most like socially advocating. If you're ever nervous, you can ping a judge. We hop in your server. We make decisions. Honestly, it's a ton of fun because you end up learning the rules really well when you're in Invader League judge. Because you're like, I've never even seen this situation in my life. How did you get these models here within that? But couple new things too this year we can hit on. We're going on Longshanks this year. So if you're a returning Invader League player, it's going to be on Longshanks. I'm excited about that. Obviously, for just the ease of use, we're all pretty used to Longshanks now, but also we'll have stats. So really accessible. We're using a tag. There's this cool feature where I can have multiple pods, but tag one and see the stats across all the pods. So we'll have instant data, and then we'll also be able to have season-to-season rankings. So kind of like the rating system they use on Longshanks, we'll have a specific to Invader League rating as well. So that'll be exciting.
Cool.
Kind of year to year. We're adding travel groups. So if you're worried about getting paired with your locals, we're going to do our best to keep you guys out of your travel group when you put it in at sign up. One year I had like 4 Texans in my Invader League group. We all played at the old Dallas Open and at Lone Star. Like we all played against each other after playing Invader League in the middle of it. It was kind of awful and awesome. So we're adding travel groups. I already hit on a lot of time zones. So we're going to have the Americas, Europe, Africa, and then the Asias. So you can pick one of those 3. We'll do our best to put your pod. Even if you're in America, I know one of the Stabcast guys famously would like sign up for Australia because he wanted to play games at like 3 a.m. So if you can sign up for where you're not. If you really want to play games during the U.S. workday, you can sign up for Europe and play games during the U.S. workday. So that's not from there. And hit on that last one. We're doing a virtual hobby competition this year. The Deploy the Garrison guys came up with that. So I think it'll be a cool option. Even if you're somebody that's like, hey, I'm not the most competitive, I want to get some games in, and another chance to get some prizes out of that. So
That is cool.
Will do.
That's a cool concept.
What is a virtual hobby competition?
So you do your hobby in real life, and then throughout, we're going to do, at the end of round robin, we'll take submissions, have a judge team. There'll be models and armies that you can submit, and then based on their preferences, they'll pick. And we'll display those. We're going to announce them at the semifinals and final on stream. So you get shouted out on the big streams. Usually Invader final stream pulls not quite, an LVO crowd, but pretty solid crowd. So you get shouted out on there while we're doing that. But
cool.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, I'm with you, Reagan. TTS is how I can get extra reps in, just being busy most weeknights until kids go to bed, late night, dad hours. That's when I can get some extra games in. It's not going to match the table, but like you said, the ease and being able to throw out new things quickly, there's definitely benefits here. And yeah, I think one of my first games, it wasn't Invader League, but it was some online league, and it was against Brian Bear. I think I had no idea
my man,
who he was.
There we go.
He just destroyed me with some weird bus. No, not bus. It was a snow trooper Vader list thing that I was completely unprepared for. I was so new to the game, but he was very nice and gracious about it the whole time.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. I'm terrible at TTS. I think it's fun. I love, same thing. I play a lot of my games online, and I can't. The table visualization, it's not there. I play it, and why did I do that? It was horrible. But I learned a bunch, so I enjoy it. But
yeah.
Randy's kind of a menace. Randy's kind of a menace on TTS. Other than his red dice are actually trash on TTS. So.
Which just prepares me for real life. But yeah, I think I'm twice the player on TTS than I am in real life. I don't know what it is. I think I'm too lazy to check angles in real life. That's
the
what
other
it is.
thing on TTS. You can get really good at your range bands, your measuring. We have player packets that go through all the details of hey, because it's online, am I allowed to measure this, measure that? You can get perfect information in a way you just can't in real life. So that's another benefit. As you're getting better, you can actually see what are the ranges, what are the inches, get comfortable with that. I encourage that. If you're playing TTS, you should take advantage of how far away am I?
Yeah. I will get on, and I did a lot when 2.6 came out, and just see how far different units can get off the board on deployment. How far can I put the bus out, drop something off, and then put the bus in front of it? How far does Bad Batch get up the board? Things like that. It's easier than having to pull all those out and just check manually. So, yeah. Reagan, you brought a couple teasers for us for Invader League here.
Yeah. So for Invader, we do 5 round robin maps. We're gonna spoil 2 of them. Once we get towards the end of signups, we'll have a full reveal, and you can get on TTS and look at them. But for now, we'll at least spoil a couple of them. I figure for our audio only, we'll talk theme a little bit, but then also dig into a little bit of, hey, what do you like about maps? Hey, this is something I like on a map, something I don't like on a map. To try to tickle the ears of the Apple Podcast folks like me.
I like Invader League for the maps, but it's also there's new maps. I'll grab that. I'll be taking that map.
That's another reason I get excited for Invader League. Sweet, I got new maps to play now.
Yeah.
And we got a fine map to kick things off here. We've got a very cool Alderaan theme.
This is a Seth map himself, Droid's Rule. He's a big map guy. Do you want? I've seen these. If you want to describe them as fresh eyes, I'm happy to do.
So if anyone's ever been on TTS and played on the Bespin type maps, there's a couple of those kind of walls and fountain terrain on there, but there's all these height 2 buildings, and then on the one side there's a big landing pad with it looks like that transport vehicle that Obi-Wan gets on the beginning of episode 3. Right after they save the Chancellor. So lots of tall line of sight.
Are those
line
height
of sight
3
blockers.
Buildings even?
I think they are height 3.
Wow.
When I was
very tall, kind of thin buildings. So they would be a solid line of sight blocker, but not necessarily for multiple trooper units. You wouldn't be able to probably shield your whole squad behind both of them. So, and there's some area tree terrain in the middle. That's actually kind of, and then there's a cool, just looking at it, there's a cool kind of, the center is kind of closed off to one side of the of the map. So I'd consider it somewhat an unbalanced map, right? If there's an objective in there.
Yeah, that's what we spent a lot of time talking about. The big clip from earlier this week. I don't know if clips can be big in Legion circles, but in Legion circles, Will was talking about one of the devs. Hey, asymmetric tables. We want to encourage table side choices. So that's definitely been something we've thought about. Is how do we make tables interesting, while not just having them be the same mirrored. And like you said, Matt, that's something we're going for. Is it's not that it's necessarily imbalanced per se, but I think there's meaningful choices to be made based on objective and side, that are going to make it more interesting than just, oh, I'm going to take this side every time.
Yeah, I just have a Wookiee brain right now, so I'm just looking at nice terrain that I can like sprint up to and then like hop over.
Yeah,
so
all the walls.
That is a super interesting center point. There's like a kind of a half circle wall that's at least a height 1 wall. So
yeah, I really appreciate it when I walk up to or see a board and it's not the tic-tac-toe grid. Like where there's like, oh, here's the 2 middle lanes, and then here's the 2 middle lanes going this way. And I feel like a lot of tables can fall into that trap lately. So
yeah,
and some are
just like that.
So balanced. I just kind of glaze over and it's like, okay, I don't really see anything that's a big deal either way. And so then I kind of discard the table side part. So I like seeing stuff that's interesting like this.
Yeah, I really appreciate all the. Oh, go ahead.
You got it.
I really appreciate all the area terrain that you have on here. I really like the trees and the different types of the different terrain types. I feel like we're getting less and less of those. I like having difficult terrain on places and honestly, I like seeing light cover on the table. I feel like a lot of people, at least a lot of my games recently, has been like, okay, here's 2 pieces of light cover, everything else is heavy. All right, now we don't have to think about it. I kind of like to have that variety in the table just to kind of, help tell that story and help force tactical, more tactical deployments and everything. So, yeah, big fan of all the trees. I think it goes really well. And the theme is spot on, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a big point, even for like your own tables. Of the benefit of playing in an Invader or Yavin-based team league, any game on TTS, is we have infinite resources for terrain. We can just like go to somebody else's mod. Honestly, a lot of these are from other Invader maps, but then there's some guy that does role playing games that has just thousands of assets in these mods that are awesome. But I think the next map has a couple of those. But we're able to get perfect, like, oh, I want this thing. And so you're able to kind of like you're saying, hey, I can have light cover and area terrain and scatter and have a meaningful mix. So I always enjoy playing the online leagues because you get a really like idealized table, if you will. And it usually leaves me inspired of like, oh man, now I can go find this piece that I want to use for my table to kind of make it feel more like that instead of, like you said, all the 3D printed heavy cover. That's the generic Legion of, oops, all Tatooine heavy cover, and we scatter it across the table.
It's so nice not to see another desert table either. I know that's just the default Star Wars setting is Tatooine or Mos Espa or Mos Eisley's or something like that. But it's really nice to see an actual like forested, like wooded area. And, like
I can even say we don't have any desert tables in round robin.
Wow,
if that's a draw for you, Mitch, get in. The water's great.
It kind of is. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of is.
But
oh man. Okay, I'll bring up this next thing after we check out this next one. So this is Kijimi.
Any Outlaws fans I was playing this afternoon. If you guys played on Outlaws, you get a nice trip to the snowy planet of Kijimi. But
that is cool.
Very cool.
It's a lot of boxes.
A lot of walls to climb over here as well.
A lot of Wookiees. Some of the walls have holes in it too, which was kind of a fun twist of kind of like heavy cover with the movement downsides, but also not the oops, I'm going to hide my Wookiees here.
That's discrimination.
I think this tower here, kind of near the middle, is height 2.
Yep, tower's height 2. I think the statue's height 2 as well. That's where the other buildings might be. That's the other benefit of TTS. We can just make things taller to make it height 2. In real life, I can't just like expand a building up to 7 inches. But
I think I saw one Bestman table, they had took like a planter and like just scaled it up and changed it, and like it was holding a tree instead, and it was like a height one piece of terrain.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 I
Lots
like all
of
the walls. I like to have line of sight blocking terrain on my tables too. This one, I like this.
I really like
Yeah, the holes in
sharing
the
that
walls.
stuff here of using the map to like dictate tables. It's harder than it looks. I always look at it and be like, oh, that's
Mhm.
easy. It's hard to make like super playable tables that vaguely follow a weird roadmap. But I interrupted Matt. What were you saying there?
Oh no, that's what I was gonna say. They kind of look like the center part is really like on that street. Like it does a really good job. So, and there's the hole in that centerpiece, that center wall. That'd be an interesting spot potentially to get into because you're gonna have good sight coming out.
You know, that's another thing too with Invader League is like all the terrain is kind of predetermined, so that's like one less conversation you have to have with your opponent. So A, it makes the game a lot faster, and B, it kind of takes the guesswork out of it. It's like you get halfway through a game and you're like, oh, what did we say about this? Is this difficult to climb over? Oh, I'll just hover over it and see what the rules say about it.
Yeah, we tag them all. Type of terrain, difficulty, and cover.
That's super beneficial, I think, for new players to kind of give them an idea of all the different types of terrain that can be in the game.
Right.
And hopefully they'll take that and use it in their own games and stuff like that. So,
honestly, so this is what I wanted to bring up. I kind of like that. I almost wish tournament tables were that way, like pre-tagged terrain. Just so there's not jockeying conversations for like, hey, I brought a bunch of dudes with unhindered or environmental gear, so let's call a bunch of stuff difficult or something like that, you know?
I can't make promises, but for the Big D Showdown in the past, we have done that as well.
Okay.
We've got
I like it.
I like it. With Invader, we always emphasize talk to your opponents. You should still like hover over them, make sure you agree, because this is just our recommendation. So Seth, myself, Tom Bombadil, a few of us will go through when we're making the match. Be like, hey, I think this is what I want it to play as. But if you and your opponent are like, no, that's stupid, I want to do something else, more than welcome to have that conversation and do it. But like you said, it kind of gives you no, I'm not going to call that thing open when it shouldn't be open just because it helps you if it's open. It gives you just a little bit more guidance there. STOs, if you have the time, it's worth your time just to, especially for anything with a little more, like a local event. I don't know if it's worth your time, but anything that's got some level of prestige there, it's definitely helpful just to have the conversations go quicker and less, like you said, the jockeying of I talk louder than you, so I get my way. I'm guilty of that as talk loud and push aside.
Hey, we got to stick together, you know. We just, those quiet guys will get us in the end, so.
It's the quiet knife that gets you.
Right.
Yeah, no, these maps look awesome. And will you post them up somewhere, or
so we'll leave them here for a couple weeks or so, and then I'll have a post up on my blog, A Point of Interest, a little bit later in March that'll have flavor text and screenshots for everything. I need to talk with the rest of my team whether we're going to post them fully before lists are due or not. I think we'll have screenshots before lists are due. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to have list lock and then full reveals or not. That's a TBD on my side. Probably have at least a couple days where you can poke around on them. But want to make sure they're all tagged and everything cleaned up there. But we'll have Alderaan, like we said, Kijimi. We'll have a Felucia map. So not to get you too excited, Mitch. We're really checking your boxes over here. We'll have Aldani from Andor, and then the Baron Moon from Kenobi, where they have their big fight. So those are the maps we'll hit in round robin. Cool. I think elims are going to be classic, more classic, if you will, Star Wars biomes. But we're still working on what we want to do with elims. So that's the lie of the land there.
Awesome. Aldani's really cool. I really want like a special POI. It's like use an action to ring the bell, and it like gives your troops in range 1 tokens or something like that.
I'm excited. They've mentioned they're going to have like faction specific advantages. I'm so down for like something like that where you like add a POI, everybody gets some cool thing, and it's like ringing the bell. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I would love that.
But
really dive into that faction identity they keep preaching about. So
eventually we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Before I move on from Invader, I want to shout out our sponsors. So a bunch of these guys, these groups, if you will, gave some amount of prizing for pod prizing, first through third prizing, some giveaways. So the Legion Discord, if you're not a part of the Legion Discord, definitely get in there. The 5th Trooper, X and 1, you guys, That Snow Moon, Deploy the Garrison, the Las Vegas Open Invitational Series, the Legion Tournament Circus, the Indy Garrison all gave some amount of prizing. And then Luminous Gaming is the host of Invader League. So Jordan has all the rights for it and stuff, and it graciously gave some stuff as well for prizing. So thank you to everybody. For a free event, you get quite a bit of cool prizing opportunities, some of which don't even involve winning games of Legion, which is always a good thing.
Big for me, big.
Yeah, those are the prizes up my alley. Oh man. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's super exciting. I think those maps look great. So if that's any indication of what the others ones will be like, it should be some fun, interesting games for sure. But yeah, was there anything else you wanted to shout out, Reagan, before we kind of sign off here?
Kind of same big things. If you're involved in the Legion Discord, we have a whole set of channels for Invader League. Most of our communication happens there. If you want to play Invader League, you're required to be in the Legion Discord so I can communicate with you with all the different details and the like. If you don't like the Legion Discord for whatever reason, I promise you can mute everything else, but you got to be in there so we can chat. And if you've never heard of the Legion Discord, you should join. It's really great. There's a bunch of people in there that talk about Legion. You can hear Randy tell you your list is bad and shout out collective chat if you want to. It's great. But
I'll just think it. You gotta come to our Discord.
There we go. You'll get like a nice like 100 when it's like, yeah, great list, man. I love it so much. No, it's terrible.
Gosh, I do overuse the 100 emoji. That's for sure.
But that's my generic of like, yeah, man, I don't want to like engage right now. But I can't let the cat out of the bag. But so we'll be in the Legion Discord. LuminousGaming.net/Invader League is kind of where we host all our documents. So there's rules this year. So we have written rules. We've had a packet in the past, but clean that up for 260. We have player guidelines. So even if you're playing on TTS with your buddies and you want to have a little bit more organized, like how do I do TTS nicely? It's not a how to play as much as a like, hey, don't hit the R button to roll your dice because it doesn't tell us what you did, or what can I measure, what can I not measure, or oops, I moved a model I shouldn't have moved, stuff like that. So we have player guidelines up, and then we have for this year, since we're using Longshanks, it'll be in the league format, so there's a little bit of guidance about how do you know who you're playing, what map you're playing, stuff like that. So that's all on the site there. Otherwise, if you need anything, feel free to ping me on the Discord in Invader League chat, or you can just shoot me a DM. Looking forward to it. We already have about 40 folks signed up. So excited to see where we go from there. Again, it's free. There's lots of prizes. It's a chance to get to play Legion. What could you not enjoy there? I don't think I skipped anything. I'm sure there's something I'll remember that I should have brought up, but great opportunity. And thank you to X and One for being one of our sponsors. I know people expect prizing with Invader at this point, but it only happens because the community is like, hey, yeah, I'd love to support and get my brand out. So,
for sure. And we will put all those links in the description as well.
Yes, I'll remember to shoot you those links so I don't forget, because I'll probably forget at this point. But
cool.
And then we have a poster up. If you're on the Facebook and stuff, feel free, or in the Discord, feel free to grab the poster, distribute that if folks are interested. That has all of our info there as well. So,
very good.
Photoshop is my passion, or is it graphic design is my passion? So me and Canva Pro, we went wild there.
There you go.
But no, that's it.
How many players are you expecting this year?
I don't know. We've had invaders in the past. The heyday of Invader was COVID, and we were having like 200 or some folks, 200 plus.
Wow.
Last few years have been more like right around 100. So I'm thinking 100 to 150.
Okay.
Would love to have more. I know there's been kind of both like a growth and a like hesitation with Legion lately. So if you're somebody that's been like taking a back seat with 260, great time to jump in and see what you think with Invader, especially knowing you'll get interesting games against opponents that know what they're doing. I know sometimes that's always, you're like, hey, I don't want to go to a tournament and have 2 games against, I love playing against newer players, but if I'm on the edge, it's not necessarily what I want to start with there. But also if you're somebody that's all in, we'd love to have you. If we get more than 150, we might have another call for more sponsors or a point of interest. I'm already sponsored some, but maybe we'll sponsor some more. Happy to have you guys. But yeah, I'd expect right around 125-ish. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, it seems like almost every day I see posts on Reddit about players like, what's the status of this game? Should I get in? Should I not? Blah, 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 blah. And the comments are always 50-50. A lot of people are like, oh, no, you should, wait till blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But I mean, I say if you want to try it out, go ahead and try it out. But this is a great opportunity for you to spend no money. I mean, 100%. You don't need you don't need anything. All you need is a computer and an internet connection and TTS. And that's literally it. So if you don't have TTS, you spend $5 to download it off of Steam. That's literally all you need. And you get to play 5 games and try it out for yourself. So you can be a complete newbie. Someone will walk you through the game. So I think now is the time to get in.
Yep. If you're a complete noob, shoot me a ping. We'll get you a practice game and you'll be fine.
There you go.
There you go.
Even better.
I came in playing I brought like Anakin Padme Saber as my first Invader League. It was brutal. I got smoked.
That was before he was OP, so.
Hey, it was back with Exemplar days. We figured out the list eventually, but like,
Yeah.
us proud. Back when Exemplar was stupid, but no, yeah, looking forward to Invader. I'm excited to kind of see where we go with it. It's the first year that I'm running it, so feel free if you have thoughts, feel free to send them my way. Trying to make sure we have packets, documents, you know what you're getting into, and we're trying to keep that all organized for you.
Excellent. I'd be remiss if we didn't hit on Big D coming up.
There we go. The Big D Showdown, May 31st to June 1st, down in Dallas, Texas. If you're anywhere kind of South Central U.S., come on and join us. It's at the Dallas Games Marathon. We did a previous Big D there. It was awesome. It's a guy that like has a game club, but a ton of space. So it's like all the benefits of a game store without all of the downsides of a game store. It's like it's to ourselves, but way bigger. So great facility there. We got a kick out of, he's really big on its medical grade lighting. So if you really want really great lighting for your Legion games, come on down to the Big D Showdown. Jerry's going to we're getting some prizing from Jerry. I know the X and 1 guys are bringing some stickers and stuff. I think you'll get some custom command cards if you come out. Cesar does a great job with prizing and stuff, but get in. It's a great time to come down. I think a lot of the Oklahoma folks will be there. If you want to meet your heroes from the X and 1, I don't want to say they're going to be there for sure, but there's some conversations that you might get to meet your heroes from the X and 1 cast.
We're trying to be strategic about who we send down there for the Red River rivalry.
Yeah, we do a competition where every time Texas and Oklahoma play, whoever wins gets the point, and the winner gets to take a trophy home. And last year, Oklahoma only sent one guy, but the Brian Cook honorary trophy, I think we're actually going to call it the Brian Cook trophy going forward. Yeah, it's really weird. We'll go on this random tangent. I played Brian Cook the first time at Lone Star, I think, or maybe it was Dallas Open, like pre-Big D, like 2022. And I was playing an Anakin Padme Saber list. And it was back in Hostage when you could do the really douche guy thing of like not moving your hostage the whole way. So you could knock their hostage a little bit off the center. And Brian was so mad at me. And like looking back, I was like, what a tool thing to do. It's like my 6 month of playing Legion. I was like, oh, I'll do this big brain thing. Absolute jerk move. Brian's great though. And now we have a trophy named after him. So look at us now.
That's hilarious.
We love Brian. We tried to trade James, but he didn't take the trade. So,
yeah, I think last year he was rocking the boot a lot.
Yeah,
so that would be the perfect trophy topper. With the boot.
You gotta get the scooter for it.
That's right.
Brian said Brian didn't get a Worlds invite last year. He goes to Adepticon, goes in a boot, goes through the LCQ, and then goes like 4-2 at Worlds, and it's like holy, like what a run.
Yeah, man. What a weekend of Legion. Holy
put us all to shame. I think Brian's out here making the cut. I was like, what's my problem over here? Gee whiz, man. I didn't even have to play yesterday.
So that was really big.
Real quick, I do have one more tournament that I need to promote. It's a tournament in North Houston. It's called the War Dome Tournament. It's April 26th and 27th. 5 games, Swiss. We my good buddy. We are also donating prizes to that as well. We have some POI tokens, some stickers, and some exhaust tokens. Yeah. So if you're down in the Houston area, a bunch of our Texas friends that listen, the El Paso guys, if you guys need a 2-day tournament to go to, you could definitely go check it out. I think they're sitting at like 17, 18 players.
Yeah, Zach's putting a ton of work in on it. I don't know if you guys have
Zach
seen.
Is putting.
You get a fully painted like half table of Legion terrain stuff for just being the best sportsman. It's like bananas. Legion terrain helped him out big time. Gorgeous set. So if you want to get some terrain, go be really polite and do your best.
Yeah, he's been putting a lot of work in. The prize support he's been telling me about has just been wild. So if you definitely want to get into the game, it sounds like the convention has been around for a while, but this is the first time they're having Legion there, and so they kind of want to make it a regular thing. So definitely go check it out. Tickets are only $45. That's pretty good.
Pretty good deal for a 2-day tournament. As a guy that helps run a 2-day tournament, I'm a little bit jealous of their setup there.
I know. So yeah, definitely go check that out. We'll have the link in the description for the Longshanks if you want to check that out, and a link to where you can buy a ticket for the event. So the War Dome Legion tournament.
That one, I think all the prizing goes to local game clubs in Houston too. So
yes,
you're even helping out a good cause.
Yep. So
very good. Yeah, I will say Mitchum also recently did a video with the Cherokee Open winner, Kentucky Dan. You should watch that if you haven't yet.
Kentucky Dan from North Carolina.
Him and Mitchum get together and dunk on on clones with the clone list that he won with. So
yeah that's been
pretty
a thing
fun.
Lately. All Kentucky Dan talks about is how bad clones are.
Yeah.
Hey, I respect it. He is trying to protect.
He's really convinced me that they're bad, that they need a lot of help. So
I don't know what I was thinking. I got to do that locally. Whenever something good happens, you're like, dude, this list sucks. Like, dude, it's not worth your time. Don't run it.
It's just mass gaslighting.
Right before Adepticon, it really makes you wonder. I'm just asking questions here.
But yeah, watch and see what you think. But yes, and then come join us in our Discord. It'll be fun. Great to talk to you. Hopefully, don't come and be weird. I mean, you can be a little weird. We're kind of weird, but don't be too weird.
Appropriate amount of weird.
Yeah.
The army is in there. They will. They will get reported.
We'll send you out the chain.
I love that.
Superior now.
I'm so glad we had Justin and Jeff on. Like we have this weird throughput going on now. Okay. Well, great. Tons of links to check out, and thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We said it at the end of last episode, but we've been going at this for a little over a year now, and it's been awesome, and we appreciate from everyone who's been here since episode 1 to if those hearing this right now, if this is your first one, thanks for listening. And remember, X and O is just a game away.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess nope, this isn't it.